So, welcome back again to our session today. It's going to be another interesting session. Um, we had a very good discussion in other classes this week, and I'm hoping that we'll replicate the same thing here. Our objective today is to move away from um, just understanding the environment to developing our mission and vision, and then turning that one to our strategy. So, and then to certain times, the early decisions that you need to do in your company. That's what we are going to try to do today. What are the early decisions that you need to do in your company? Startup decisions that you need to do, primarily around your vision and then your mission, then your core values and your strategy. So that's what we are going to try and do today. Um, what I wanted to point out is that we would also what we do today will lead to our strategic analytics strategy canvas, which is one of your first assignments you're supposed to do as a group for your challenge. How to be able to analyze your company and then establish a vision for it, establish the key decisions to achieve the vision, and establish your quantitative measures that you are expecting for each of the decisions, and then understand what are the resources you need in terms of human resource, and then what are the data you need to be able to, in terms of analytics, what type of analytics techniques are you going to apply, and then what type of data you need. So by the time we finish today, you'd have been able to learn how to develop a canvas like that to kind of steer the firm. Yesterday, we had a very interesting time doing that with one of the classes here. So I just want us to try and have a good time here again today. Our first objective here is to try to appreciate that the discipline that we are trying to do our study in. So um some of you asked, Prof, you said the book will be ready this week, and we are not saying anything about it. Yes, it's true. I've had a delay, so please forgive me. And I'm happy for the positive delay because a lot of things happened this week, and I realized that okay, maybe uh, as they are bringing it, we can make sure that they factor in this and this issue. So next week, I know and I can assure you that you can pick up the book at the bookshop. But what is interesting is that I'm very happy of the good feedback I'm getting from the first two sessions I've studied. Students are really excited about it. So the area of study that this all that we are doing belongs to is called strategic management. So in the beginning of the sessions last 2 weeks ago, I mentioned that there is a text that I will advise you to. I made it available in the folder. It's free. That one helps you just understand strategic management, but doesn't link it with analytics. What my handbook does is I links it takes what we are learning and links it to analytics. So that is what is good about what my. But occasionally I'll be swapping between the two books. Whenever I switch, you will see that I've switched between the two. So please bear in mind. These slides are also in the Google folder I made available during the week. I'll make it available after the class again, and then make your video too available after the class so that you can use to revise ahead of time. So strategic management is a comprehensive process designed for firms to use their resources. How do we bring their leverage resources and then capabilities to achieve a strategic performance or a superior performance in the market space? That's what we do. In doing so, we try to develop a high level broad goal, sometimes without a lot of specific, but in long term in nature, which gives some direction of how we want to become successful. That's what we call the strategy. But before the strategy can actually be formulated, we need to appreciate that a company should have an idea of what it wants to become. What is the aspiration of the company? What is the aspiration of the company? When we start talking about aspirations of company, then we are bringing into our concept of um, the concept of understanding what we call vision. So the vision is the organization's aspiration and what it hopes to become in the future or in the near future. Good. Now, having a vision is very, very important because it is large. It's a large, inspiring long-term goal that provides an ultimate direction for the firm. Apart from that, it's usually supposed to be future-oriented and inspirational, and then short and then memorable. So, for example, Google says that to provide access to the world's information in one click. To provide access to the world information in one click. That means that their focus is the aspirational values is they have is that global aspiration and the capability they give you to get the information. Global aspiration. The global aspiration is the world information, and then they want you to be able to do so in just within a click. That means that even the immediacy, the speed at which you get the information is what is primary to them. For a company like Ghana Fresh, this is not what I say you should define for them. In your main work, you are going to, you as a consultant is going to define your own vision for them. So this is my vision for them, to or some of the visions that I put out there, to be the most trusted and technologically advanced exporter of high quality West African produce. So listen to it. Most trusted and technologically advanced. And when somebody is talking about most trusted, it means that he's going to put in certain things within his value chain for you to be able to believe that this product is coming from them and this product has this quality standard. So the quality is important to them. The trust also is establishing the fact that you can be able to, we are reliable. You can be able to know that we are using proven methods. Yeah, proven method, or we are using, even if you are using sustainable approaches, that sustainable approach is of a global standard. Good. And then we are also leveraging technology, just as Mr. Ophir was telling us in this example. We are leveraging technology to be able to do so. And it just doesn't want to become leverage technology. You want to leverage technology to the way that makes you look as a superior exporter, an advanced exporter. So the aspirations are about being a lead exporter, being an advanced exporter, being technologically elite in the way you do your export business, being known for what, being the best in being the one of the highest quality produce in West Africa, not just in Ghana. So that's quite a very, very broad aspiration that they may have communicated in their vision. Good. Now, when you have a vision, the next thing that you then have is a mission. The mission is the reason for existing, what your role in society is. Sometimes students don't know, or quite a number of management experts don't even know the big difference. One of them is being your aspiration. The other one is that I'm aspiring to do that, but in my what's my scope? Who are my stakeholders, and what is the purpose to my commitment to my stakeholders? So if you look at that of Starbucks, say that to inspire, nurture the human spirit, one person, one cup, and one neighborhood at a time. Now, Starbucks is telling you that I want to be your neighborhood space for having coffee. I just don't want to just sell coffee, but I want you to know that I'm your friend, I'm your partner, I'm a place you can just come in and just relax. And I individualize my care in my shop. That means that one person, one cup. Technically, somebody can say that Starbucks may not be interested in one person come to stand and say, "Get me 80 bucks of Starbucks cup and let me carry it away." If they do that in the shop in front of everybody, that one person, one cup will not work well. It doesn't mean that they don't sell multiple cups to people, but you're trying to make sure that whenever you come into the shop, you can have that individualized care and you can be assured of getting your own cup of coffee to be able to take away. And the idea is that a neighborhood, that means that we try to make sure that we are representing that neighborhood. We are representing that particular small environment. So they could have a Starbucks the Starbucks in airport should be different from the Starbucks in North Legon. The Starbucks in North Legon will be different from the Starbucks Medina. The Starbucks in Medina may be different from the Starbucks in West Hills Mall. So that neighborhood, what not different in terms of the quality of coffee, but there will be something about that particular Starbucks that is neighborhood friendly. That's what you're trying to do. It could even be style in the room, how it's set up, the colors, and how things are laid out. It can even be that maybe they even hide from the neighbor so that people can say, these are friendly fits. I know you. Could you? I know you. You are a person who lives just next door. So you can be able to relate to the people there. But somebody who doesn't have a neighborhood concept can just carry somebody from Kaswa to go and work in Abuba because they just want capacity. So far as somebody is there, this is the best person, then let me move it Abuba to go and work. But when somebody has a neighborhood agenda, it's trying to make sure that the people's face are quite friendly. They can connect to the people who are coming to the shop. But let's look at it in terms of Ghana Fresh. Ghana Fresh says that to be sustainable, to sustainably grow and deliver premium traceable pineapples to European global markets while ensuring empowerment to local farmers. So in this scenario, what do you think is the reason for and the role of Ghana Fresh in society? And who are the stakeholders? Yes. Who are the stakeholders of using this example? Who are the stakeholders of Ghana Fresh? Yes, let's discuss it. Looking at that particular one. Who are the stakeholders? You can raise your hand or and then share with your view. Looking at that particular statement. To sustainably grow and deliver. Yes, Brenda.
The local farmers, I'd say, are the first.
Okay, so you said local farmers is one of their targets. Is that all?
You asked about stakeholders.
Yes. But
Yes. So
stakeholder?
say it again.
Is that the only stakeholder they have?
No, and then the global markets, so the European and global markets where they will be delivering their produce to.
Okay, then. Thank you. Yes, but Mr. Rashid, what do you think is their role for existing? What's their role in the society? What's their essence of existing? Yes.
So, looking at the economic empowerment for local farmers, I think that's the smaller picture, but the larger picture is for the government of Ghana because they're existing in the Ghanaian space, and
Okay.
any form of economic empowerment contributes to growth financially. Sorry, economic growth as a country, and then having that connection to the European markets. I think yes, that also is linked to that.
Yeah, but for the European market, what's their value proposition for them? What's the value they want to? What their value position for them?
Okay, so the value proposition is with the traceability. We want to assure that we deliver premium quality pineapples, and you can trace the source down to the farmer. So you have that connection with us as a country or as a continent, if you're looking at it from a continental perspective.
This is very interesting. That means that technically, I've seen this with some quality milk or premium milk before. They tell you that this is coming from the farms of something something Ireland. They write it on as part of the label. The idea is to just make sure that they can that commitment to know that this is coming from a cow that was milked at with these standards at a particular farm. So, and that means that you can actually travel to Ireland and go to that farm and see that these are the standards that they use to be able to create milk, to create this premium milk for you. And I think that's what he's trying to do for the local farmer. It's possible that you can have a packaging that have a name that this is from Afriwa Farms in maybe Agbozome or Afriwa Farms in Eastern, they are working in Eastern areas from Kufuidia or something like that. So I like what you are just saying that traceability is there. Yeah, I saw one hand up. I think was it Mr. Fair? I saw one other hand up. Yeah. Okay, the hand is gone down.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I was going to touch on the traceability and then the delivery of premium fresh pineapples, but I think Rashid did that, so that's why I dropped my hand.
Yeah, Naomi, yeah, you still have a hand up. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Fair. Yeah.
I wanted to talk about the sustainability as part of what they're actually giving to their immediate community. I think that they are making a commitment to the integrity of the Ghanaian environment and the Ghanaian soil, such that we are not just going to enjoy what we can gain from it today, but then we are leaving traces for future generations so that they can keep doing this over and over and over again. And that's very necessary for economic development of it.
Okay, thank you very much. So apart from the vision, what the next step that people do is that is the core values that are the principles that guide organization in executing its mission and vision. So if you take that on Ghana Revenue Authority, they are talking about fairness, integrity, responsiveness, service, and teamwork. But this particular set of values is actually built upon their mission and then actually built upon their vision. So if you look into their website, their page, one thing that you see is that uh, the Ghana Revenue Authority has a commitment to a world-class revenue administration recognized for professional integrity and excellence. So in their vision, their aspiration is to communicate professionalism, integrity, and excellence in the revenue administration. But in the mission, the objective is to mobilize revenue for national development. So that then brings you to their role in society. Then in a transparent, fair, effective, and efficient manner. Then when you bring back to their core values, they say that fairness, integrity, responsiveness, and service and teamwork. So the professionalism is captured in things like what they are saying here concerning fairness and service, responsiveness. And you have integrity being there too, which is also in their core values. And then there is excellence. So you got excellence in your service and maybe excellence in even in the way you deliver the service, and also excellence maybe in the way you are responsive to what the consumers or what the Ghanaian taxpayer is actually looking for. So you need to be able to relate your vision, your mission, and then go into your core values. Very, very important. It's very, very important. It's very important. Yeah, but let me just show that of University of Ghana. Look at University of Ghana's own. To achieve our vision is to achieve global impact through innovative research, teaching and learning using technology driven and people-centered approach. Now, vision should highlight values and aspiration. So, from our vision, what is the value and aspiration of University of Ghana? What are the values and what are the aspirations of the University of Ghana? What are the values and what are the aspirations of the University of Ghana? I'll put it out there. You are seeing it. So, what do you think is the values and which of them are the aspirations? Which of them are the values that they are focusing on? Yes. Yeah, anybody can pick it up. I just want we're engaging here. So
Okay, Doc, this is Rashid again. So the vision, it's touching on global impact, achieving global impact, then innovative research, then teaching and learning, technology-driven and people-centered approach.
yeah.
So those are the key points with the vision. And the value you are trying to deliver is creating an enabling environment that is relevant to national and global development, and then using the cutting edge research.
You are jumping to the vision. I just don't go there. Go look at the vision alone. In the vision, there are two parts of the vision. There is the aspiration of what they want to be, and then the value they want to attach to it. You see, that's what let Eugene come in here. You saw your hand up. Yeah.
Yes, Prof. So I think the vision would be to achieve global impact.
Okay.
And they would definitely want to do that through their values, which would be innovative research, teaching and learning, and then using technology. And
Okay,
then
so that one too is not what is happening. The three strategic arms of every academic institution is research, teaching, and learning. So that is what you're supposed to deliver. Do you understand me? The global impact is your aspiration. You want to do this at the global level, make it impactful. So AJ, welcome in. I saw your hand is up. Yeah. Okay, it's gone off. AJ rather, it's AJ Keverson. Yeah, AJ Keverson. Good, sorry.
Thank you, Prof. So I think the value will be to be innovative, then technology-driven and people-centered.
Okay, so you want to do it in a manner in which is people-centered and technology-driven. And you also want to make sure that your three arms, you achieve it through innovation. So what will lay in the heart of the organization is actually the two you are mentioning, technology-driven, and then people-centered. Now, what is interesting is that this is not the vision of the University of Ghana a few years ago. This one just began, I think, in 2024, if I'm right. Now, before the current VC came in, we had an old value, which was a vision that was for a particular time, and that was to become a world-class university. Now, when she came in, she has had an agenda for technology in terms of she's doing one laptop per student project where companies are donating laptops and she's giving it to students to be able to have laptops. And she's been setting up technology labs in terms of places that they can be able to have a better technology in their lecture rooms. She's been doing that quite often. Now, so you see that somebody who is technology driven, and then there is also the people-centeredness. So in that currently, well, arguably, somebody will say that VC's UG's vision is to make a global impact, and through the three arms of the institution, the research, teaching, and learning. But in doing so, what will be the center of what is their strategy to do so will be technology-driven and people-centered approach. So that's what you see there. And our mission then becomes what our role is in society. So now looking at those of you who are trying to answer, look at what is the mission there, what is the role of UG in society? Okay. Rashid, now you can come in. Now you are now looking into the role in society. What is the role of UG in society?
Yes, so that's to create the enabling environment for relevant to national global development. And then the that point you brought up about focusing on tech, how she's now bringing up tech or want to use tech as the point of entry is
Yes.
using the cutting edge research and quality teaching and learning.
Okay. So our role in society is to make sure that whatever products we graduate, they have got relevance to national and global development. That is one. So tomorrow we want to expect that people like Rashid, people like Anne Marie, and the rest of the team should be able to be making impact on Ghana at the national level and at the global level. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So you want to see that James Amuzu should be head of maybe something in like in Silicon Valley, making global impact, and somebody too should be representing. People like Godfrey should be representing Africa at maybe at the AU, and then you should have some. Their voice should be heard in the maid boardrooms in Ghana and beyond. That is what he wants us to see. So you have a UG alumni in every global agenda. You have a UG alumni in every national agenda. That is it. So because of that, if you go to our website, anytime this new government came up and they appointed somebody, they celebrated the person. Because the objective is to make sure that you are having impact on the nation and then having impact on the global phase of development. So that's what we want to see. But then at the end of the day, doesn't mean that we'll see that in UG's core values. Look at UG's core values: integrity, commitment, respect, and loyalty. And they explain that we demand the highest standard of ourselves to earn the trust of others. Wow. We are committed to knowledge generation that positively impact the lives of those within and outside the university community. We provide others respect with the world-class experience that demonstrate the value for diversity and contributions of members of our community. Okay, we demonstrate loyalty, a strong resolve to give back selflessly to our university. So that's the alumni connection, kind of making sure people are coming back home to come in and do some giving back. So Lucia, after you take your role in the AU or in New York, please remember to come and give back.
Oh, I will give back. Don't worry. Amen.
Remember to come and give back. So UG expects that core value. But it means that if you want people to give back, that means that their experience in doing the course should be something that is world class. So there's willingness to come back. The problem about most institutions is that sometimes the core values is talking about something else, and then the actual delivery of the service is also talking about something else. So sometimes some people get finished the program and they are so hurt by certain kind of instances that happen in classroom and outside the classroom, interfacing with faculty, interfacing with the university, and they don't want to resolve to come back and give back selflessly. Yeah. Others also think that the fact that others are giving back and it's enough, they will go back and give back to their primary school. But remember, University of Ghana is also here. So that's what we try to do. That's what we try to do. Okay, now, all these things are very, very good points that we are picking up from our session today. What I want to try to connect these things to is to let us try to understand that after you have had your vision and mission and stuff, you need to be able to choose where you are going, which is more of your strategic orientation aligned with your vision. So last week, what we're doing was trying to let you understand what is in the environment that can influence that choice. Now, there are quite a lot of threats and opportunities in the environment, but the ability for a firm to assess the profitable opportunities that it can see and strategically evaluate this business environment is very, very important. The problem we have is that many firms, even though they have a vision, they cannot see. They cannot see what is in their environment. They cannot see what is an opportunity. And even if they can see, they are not willing to take advantage of it. Because that's another comes with boldness. They are not willing to risk it, to take advantage of it, and especially with respect to the existing and obtainable resources. So when you are an organization and you have been able to at least define your vision, even sometimes you are confused, You may need to define your vision within what you can see. So most of the time, we come to understand that those who are able to see are those who win the game. It's less with this level, we are in injury time. This is a Champions League final. But then Ferguson stands up, is able to see that if I move Ronaldo here, I place this person here, we can win this match. And within 2 minutes, we have equalized 3-4 and 4-4, and then we take the match or something, then we walk away with the match. Why? Because I can see. So the question that comes up is that, can your manager see? Can your boss see? If you the manager, can you see? Can you see the profitable opportunities? Can you be able to sense the timing? Are you able to know the timing? I think Mr. Fair was talking about things like that when he was giving us the forces. The forces are there. There are opportunities in UAE, but can you see where you should come from? What angle or you should take? Can you see? The seeing is very, very important. And I think some of you here, you have been in the companies that you have been frustrated with an MD, you have been frustrated with a manager, a superior, because you can't understand that he can't see what is happening in the industry. Whilst others are taking advantage, they can't see. So being able to see is important. And see is not just about watching your competitor. It's being able to even strategically evaluate that, is it relevant to you where you are going? Can you take advantage of it? And then when you are taking advantage, you have the resources currently, or are you got access to certain resources that can help you be able to take advantage of it? So your strategic orientation matters a lot. It matters a lot. It matters a lot as an organization. It matters a lot. It matters a lot. And I believe that some of you may have experienced such things before, and how frustrating it could be. Now, because of that, or these issues about whether we can see or we can't see, the thing that comes up is that when you are moving from your vision, what you see is what you end up putting into what you call your strategic plan. Your strategic plan. You have to put something in your strategic plan that will guide us to be able to do what you want to do. So then it brings us to what we call, what is your strategy to be able to achieve value? Then we can point out that your intended strategy, meaning I've been able to do my examination of my environment. I've been able to define my vision. I've been able to define my mission. I've been able to define my core values. Now I need to define my goals of where am I going, and my strategy of where am I going. And that one becomes what you put in your strategic plan of what you are going to achieve. How are you going to win? So your intended strategy is the one that the organization describes in detail in their strategic plan about how they are going to win, about how they are going to gain and maintain success. It's your intended strategy. It's your intended strategy. Your intended strategy. But intended strategy is very good, but it doesn't mean that it's always achieved. You can intend to do something, but something can happen that can change the intention, and then it changes your perception on how to react. So at the end of the day, you will realize that because of certain things that come up, even though you intended to do this, now you are doing something else because you are responding to the environmental shocks that are coming up, disasters, or even sometimes certain things that kind of come from the competition from either substitutes or from other threats that may be in the environment. And then because of that, you now move from your intended to an emergent strategy, something that is respond unplanned, but it shows up because and you have to respond to it. You call that an emergent strategy, unplanned. So, for example, University of Ghana, about 10, 12 years ago, when I joined the university, I realized that around 2009 and 2010, we realized that the university wanted to had an objective of becoming starting out in becoming a world-class institution. So, good. And an objective of becoming a world-class institution. Now, what is interesting is that we had a committee which I joined to set up what we call the e-learning or ICT and education kind of guidelines for the university. Within those guidelines, we talked about what technology could we use to do, what is our intention for learning through technology or e-learning in the university. And then I remember that one of the core things I did in the subcommittee I led was to talk about guidelines for lecture recording. This was around 2011, 2012. And why? Because I had come from the US and I brought cameras into my classroom. So as I'm teaching, I have people carrying cameras and they are filming the class. And after that, I go and edit it and make it available on YouTube. Because it was the first thing of it kind in the university. People didn't even understand it. But I brought cameras into the class and I carry my camera with my teacher assistant all the time when I'm coming to class. And I asked them, so I had needed to develop guidelines for lecture recording. When the lecture is recording, what permissions does you have to ask from the students? What are the rights of the students to the lecture, the video he has done? What are the rights to the university, the video he has done? I did that kind of document. But the document and it's the whole e-learning plan laid down. Nobody took nobody senior management went to implement. You're just lying down. Fast forward to 2020, COVID hit us, and then the whole country is responding to COVID. Ghana had to respond to COVID. University of Ghana has to respond to COVID. Something that was done 8 years ago is now picked up because as the University of Ghana decided to go and start allowing people to learn online, all of a sudden, Ghana that GTech comes and says that you can't do that because your commitment and assurance to University of people who have signed up to University of Ghana is in-person teaching, face-to-face teaching. So this whole thing of trying to do an online teaching, you need to give us a policy concerning it and a strategy concerning it so that we can give you permission to do so. And then that's when I got to understand that laws work in Ghana sometimes. So we had to do that. And the university has set up a committee and I chaired it, that we have an e-learning or guidelines to the use of technology in teaching and learning in the University of Ghana. We had to develop that e-learning kind of policy framework for UG. And then the same thing I did years ago became part of a functional part of that document. The same guidelines for lecture recording featured in the document. But at this time, management was willing to take advantage because YouTube has become bigger. Zoom had come up, and now people were going to be using Zoom, and then all kinds of platforms, free caller, and then Teams, and all kinds of stuff as part of their learning process. So something that was done 8 years ago was now dusted off, brought into the boardroom for us to discuss it. And we factored that one into the documentation. So sometimes an emergent strategy can be unplanned that arises in response to unexpected opportunities and challenges. You didn't plan it that way, but it shows up and you need to do something about it. Now, because of that, fast forward after COVID. After COVID, then we move into an era in which we have to now do what is our strategy for education in University of Ghana. We realize that after COVID, teaching online has become part of Ghana's teaching agenda. So, and to the extent that government had even released a platform called the Garnet, where they were paying for Zoom licenses for lecturers, and then helping other institutions sign up with Microsoft for the Teams licenses. So, government is even seen as an agenda. So, if government is seen as an agenda, what can you do as UG? You need to go with the agenda. So now we realize that as part of our teaching, our realized strategy is that when the lecturer is going to teach, the lecturer has a combination of doing both online and offline. And today, look at what's happening. You are taking a course in which is planned largely online and fewer face-to-face interface, which was not part of UG's agenda before 2020. But it's a realized strategy now that we are working in this era. So our realized strategy is that our educational program has two phases: the online phase and the face-to-face. So it's a blended approach. We are using a blended agenda or strategy for teaching students now. But it wasn't our intended. It became part of our emergent and now it has become established. So it's our realized now. So a realized strategy is part of your combining your emergent with your intended and to be know where you are now. Our strategies and organizations, what the organization actually follows currently, and is a product of the intended strategy or the firm's deliberate strategy of solving and the firm's emergent strategy. Sorry, let me take some water. I don't know whether it's only me who is experiencing. There's a strong heat wave in Accra today. I don't know. Are people experiencing this? Hello?
Yes,
It's
sir.
raining where I am.
It's raining rather. It's raining and there's a heat wave too on another part. Anyway, so your real strategy is kind of a combination of them. Yes. So let me just take a few comments from you. Who is in a company that you realize that now you are running with a real strategy, which is a portion of a number of things that have happened, maybe that recently, or an opportunity that happened to the company, or a disaster that happened in industry, and because of that, now you have combined your intended with the emergency and a real strategy. You don't need to mention the company, but I just want to hear whether this resonates. Yeah, Brenda, you can go ahead.
Yes, Doc. Some years back, MTN was declared as an SMP, a single market player, and that led to a lot of changes, especially around pricing, because as a monopoly, so quote and unquote, as compared to the other telcos, we had to do a lot of price reductions just so it makes it very competitive for the other telcos in the industry. Fast forward to today, we've done some adjustments to the price. Well, I'll say primarily because we have a new government in place. We've done some products, revised some products, and done some pricing. I'll say revised some pricing, which wasn't prevalent, I would say, during the time of SMP. So now we've changed some data bundles, which is, I would say, is an in-between. Is not what it used to be, but is not as, we are not giving low value as compared to price like we were doing under SMP. So I'd say that would be our reaction or the plan we've had to put in place for being declared SMP.
Okay, that's very interesting. But I think you have also been forced to decouple some of your businesses from the mainstream, like from the mother company. Is that not part of it?
Yes, because we went into fintech, that puts us in the financial space, and that's why we decoupled mobile money, because that essentially is being governed by Bank of Ghana.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That's interesting. That's interesting. So now does it in your new real life strategy, how do you see yourself?
I see we are more competitive. It also gives us an edge because under SMP, we had a lot of complaints from customers not getting value from our revised bundles, especially. So for now, with the little revision we've done in pricing and bundle, I'm sure, certain that our customers find more value than they did when we're under SMP.
Okay, okay, okay. Very, very good. Very, very good. I'm happy about what you're talking about. And I'm very happy because at the end of the day, I don't know your role at MTN, but maybe later I can get in touch. We have a lot of interesting things that we could even discuss, not in terms of but more about lessons, what we can learn from this story you're talking about, and how we can make it part of our management learnings in the University of Ghana Business School. And I'm very happy to look at it, maybe even document the story. Yeah, so let's talk later. But thanks for the feedback. Now, any other person wants to share from what you have seen? So being in a realized strategy is not wrong. It's not bad. It's not necessarily bad. It means that you're actually also responding to what the market demand is and where it is going. And from what she's told, that sometimes a new government and then the voice of the market can actually drive you to start looking at something that will something new will emerge. You may test it for a little bit and then you move into a new realized strategy. Yeah. Please, any other company that wants to share? Any other person who wants to share anything? Yeah, AJ Carlson.
Okay, thank you, Prof. So I want to tone in the line of Brenda. So as the regulator declared MTN as an SMP, there were some guidelines that they gave MTN in order to bring balance into the telecom space. And I believe those directives or instructions can also be termed as the strategies that they are following to as a realized strategy. That's what I want to mean. The directives that they gave them. So they are following some directives in order to bring a competition into the telecom space.
Okay. So in that sense, do you want Brenda to respond or you are just commenting?
Oh, I'm just commenting because there were some directives that I think the NCA gave to MTN in order to cushion the other players so that there can be a competition in the telecom space.
But you do anything else? There was competition. No. It is. Let me not get into this argument because of how close I am to some of these sensitive issues. But in your view, there was competition. Just that somebody was playing his card well.
Well, they thought we had an undue advantage due to our large numbers because we carried more than 50% of the customer base. And so they thought that gave us an undue advantage in terms of pricing. So if we, for instance, are given a 399 bundle when it was given, I think, okay, sorry, I can't remember because I don't use prepaid, but it was, let's say, given a 300 GB, or the other telcos could not afford to do that because they will run at a loss in the long run. So we have the numbers. So even if we are putting very minute margins on our products and services, we still stand to gain. So the SMP forced us to give a lesser bundle for the same price, which really was not offering value to our customers.
Yeah, I agree with what you are trying to say, but at the end of the day, let me just ask an example. University of Ghana had been the first mover and first entry into the market for a long time. We have a lot of customers because of the fact that we are a public university too. But there are other public universities that have come up. They are getting numbers. There are private universities that are even eroding our strategic our cash cows, which used to be where we were gaining value, to so much extent that right now we have to be in the market and be active and even sometimes pleading with students to consider us. So if the market start doing what is right, they can take over an advantage as somebody who is the first, the high player or the dominant player is having. It's about how we also diversify and our offerings and make it much more attractive. And sometimes too, we have a market that is quite young in terms of its knowledge about technology. So we are drawn to a particular type of technological offerings, which can it can generate immediate value and it's low hanging fruits. But there are other technologies that we could have and services we could have entered that could have given us high value, but our young market is not ready for it. But if you look at what is happening globally, when our young market may not be ready for it, but if you look at how disruptive companies like Starlink, like Netflix, like what's the name, Facebook do their business, they create the need for you to need me. And that is what we see in lacking in some of the business offerings and value offerings we have in our technological space. We are not able to create the need that for them to need them. We want to let the consumers need us to that, but they don't do that. They create the need for you to need me. So by the time you realize you want it, not that because, and they're making sure that it's part of what you need. And we have to start moving there. And that means that our managers have to start thinking deeper and out of the box. What I try to teach you, for example, what I saw of Mr. Fair doing today, I don't think Mr. Fair has gotten up any day. Please, can you hear me? My internet went a little bit unstable. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, Prof, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Good. I don't think Mr. Fair any time has sat down to analyze how he can enter, take a product and say take it to a UAE. But we are learning certain things here, and he's even able to think out of the box and apply it. That is what I want you to finish this program to start thinking. If I go back to MTN, if I go back to Zipline, if I go back to Ministry of Health, Ministry of Communication, whichever one I go back to it, what can I do that can be different? That I can push the way we do business and do it in a different way. That it will not be different from how maybe if Max was sitting here, how you would think out of the box. I want us to be able to think that far. Yeah, I want that to think that far. Anyway, we will do that. Let me just I'll put this out there, then later on I'll give you more information about it. Next month on November 18, I'm launching 4 books on AI, and I'm also launching a new AI product that changes the way we see education and stuff. And now I may tease it out with you guys later during the maybe by next 2 weeks or something like that. But why? Because I'm thinking out of the box. I don't think I'll be in Ghana. Does not mean I cannot do something that's competitive and that globally somebody cannot give us global attention. I think we should be able to do that. What constrains us here is that maybe the financial muscle to do it. But right now, the economies of scale have changed. Certain things have even asked that we can participate in markets that we don't need to have that same resource to do so. And the Chinese are showing us that pathway. Just that we have to believe in ourselves to do that. And I want us to be able to think that way. So please, as things come up, ask yourself that how can I move from my intended to a new type of strategy? I don't know what will cause you to develop a new emergent strategy, but I want you to know that emergent strategies matter, but they are not going to be there all the time. Their influence can erode or can fade away. They can also be time bound. But when their time finishes, it changes the way the market sees you, even changes the way you see yourself. So can you then move to that new realization? Like what MTN is telling us today, we have to move to a new realization because of a lot of changes in the business environment and the political disposition, economic disposition towards them. Yeah. But and then they have been able to take a new advantage. And I am afraid of what the MTN can become. If you don't take care, they are in their reactive strategies. We may not even catch up again. They will differentiate the market more because now you are pushing them to think out of the box. And maybe in 2 years' time, the things they'll be doing, some of the companies may have to pack and step aside. Because remember, they are coming from a background in which they have financial capital to take the risk, to explore new markets, to explore new offerings, to explore new concepts, and even go and quietly fund some new changes and new happenings in the market that you don't understand, that certain things will show up and you think that is a new company, but maybe the same MTN company showing their head that way, but they will never tell you. So that's the fear I'm having for Ghana, that instead of us sitting down and helping to see how best we can work with them and helping the other companies to get the next generation type of managers, we are not doing that. We are telling them that it's okay not to be superior in your thinking, and it's okay not to be pushing yourself in innovation, but rather we'll do the work for you. Anyway, that's my view. Okay, so let's continue. So please get into your realized strategy matters. Then the other challenge that we have is that sometimes businesses think that that we are still operating the old way, where were led by business strategy, and then the technology strategy or the analysis strategy that we are talking about today was just a supporting arm. But that's no longer the truth. In the modern context, your analytics strategy or your technology strategy, which should be primarily led by your analytics strategy, is the capability you choose to build. And it is the only way that you might be able to execute your business strategy. So your business strategy cannot say that it's on its own, and that's the superior initiative that you have, and that it should the technology come and serve it. Technology is actually driving that business strategy, and without that, the business strategy will fall apart. For example, a business strategy to become the preferred bank for young professionals by offering hyper personalized services. You can never do this without having the analytics that tells you that who the customer is, who are your personas among your customers, what their needs are, what can I even be able to present to them before they even think about it. It's the technology that can help you to be able to see the patterns of how they use money, how they even move money, and where they spend their money, so that you can be able to encourage them to spend in specific things. If you thought that that is going to just be about marketing and just getting, even the marketing even still needs technology. So what we are trying to emphasize here, that ability for you to offer hyper personalized service to the consumer or to your customer means that you should have gone back to understand. I need an analytics strategy to build real-time personalization models that can become my enabler and fundamental component of my business strategy. Your business strategy will not work if that analytics strategy is not efficient and cannot feed into it. So is it that the business strategy is a different thing from the analytics strategy? No. Today they complement each other. We can't put one in one box and say that, oh, go and tell the strategy guys in the organization to go and sit somewhere and tell us where we should go. Then when they come back, then we come and tell IT to help us. The IT person should move from being a back of support officer to become a strategic partner so that he can be able to, but I'm not saying that he should go and leave the company by data. I don't believe in that one. I will explain that later. I'm not saying that, but treat him as a strategic partner. If you lead your company just by data all the time, if you don't take care, you'll be in problem. Because if there's something wrong with the data, the company is going down. Okay. So what is important is that the modern strategy means that you are merging both your goals, business strategy, and the potential of your data capability, your analytics strength. So the two of you have to talk about, and that's what makes this program a very unique program. Those training, if it's well received by you, or if you treat it very well. I'm not teaching the other topics, so I can't tell, but I believe that my colleagues are doing their best to teach very well. But if they teach it very well, you understand it very well. When you sit in boardroom today, you should be a different person. When you sit and you look at the organization, you should be able to say certain things that can take the organization to the next level. For example, a major Ghanaian retail chain sets a business strategy to double inventory or inventory turnover within 2 years. How does this apply here in terms of looking at, should we go via analytics or should we go via business strategy? No, your business strategy has been defined. So how do you incorporate your analytics strategy? Now, this is only possible. This objective of the business to double inventory turnover within 2 years is only possible because we have to be able to predict our local demand or hyper-local demand, optimize our warehousing, and automate restocking orders. If we don't do this very well, then it's just a business goal or a strategy. It's just a business goal. And then the analytic capability to make it executable is inseparable. This is how I want you to see what we are trying to teach you in this particular course. If you and then everything that Professor Owusu, Professor Erica Fodazi, Professor Antonia Fodazi are teaching you. Anytime that Dr. Divine is teaching your stuff, ask yourself, this thing is telling me, this statistical model is trying to tell me that I can use it to analyze data in a particular way. How will I apply it within my context? What does it mean to the business strategy, so that, and which of them will best serve this business goals and priorities? Today, I think hopefully we'll be able to understand some of that as we go on. So please, we have left off that age where analysis strategy is sitting somewhere, technology strategy is sitting somewhere, and then when we are finished deciding and everything we want to do, and come and help us. No, it does not like that. It's not like that anymore. It's not like that anymore. What is happening and it is going to drive the business strategy. It's not just going to enable it, it's going to drive it. And it may even define what to become. So don't see it as a separate part. Now, because of that, let me bring in the other contradictory aspect of my argument. Even though I'm saying that business strategy was going to be driven by analytics, I'm the same person who's going to tell you that don't jump into analytics as your first, as your part of defining where your company should go. You need to understand what is happening to your company, and then where your weaknesses are in terms of the lack of data in that part, because most of the decisions you're making there are very intuitive. They are not data driven. Before you go and take on the data, please understand this very well. I'm trying to point you that the first point of decision is not the data. It is you understanding where you have a problem and that you need data. Not that the data is the problem. The data inside within it will tell you the opportunity. You should understand your company. You should understand what is happening to your company, and then understand that these decisions have been taken about my company. Most of it have been by intuitive. Some insights I think I have, but not supported by data. That is different from going to take the data and then looking into it for looking for solution. Two different things. The rhetoric about analytics in many of the brochures and the panels of our marketing of programs like this business analytics program is that everybody thinks that the issue is in the data. The issue, so if you got the data, you look inside, you can exploit inside, then you can tell the company what to do. No, tell the manager that he should understand his own company, understand where he has been making decisions without data, and then go and look for the right data to be able to make the right decision. Not that the data is there, it goes to look in the data. If you do that one, if you don't take care, you pick the wrong data for the decision that you need to make. You pick the wrong data. You pick the wrong data for the decision that you need to make. You need to understand please, where you don't understand, please raise your hand. We are chatting, so please. Or if you want to add on to it and stuff. Yeah. Brenda, thank you very much. I've seen Brenda, I've seen Benjamin. Okay, so let's read what I have on the screen first before you come to it. Okay, so my argument is that, and please, this is things that I wrote myself as my, I think one of the things that will happen next is that when you get a book, you said Prof has a lot of his own arguments about how he sees business. Anyway, many analytic projects fail because we start with data, not the decision. And that's my argument. A team may say that we have a lot of customer data. Let's find some insight. And that is what we have been teaching. That's how we teach. And I don't like that. Last year, I was preaching this thing. I said, after doing some small consultants, I said, no, we have been teaching the wrong thing. We tell them that, oh, don't bring the data. I will tell you the story. Oh, that's not the right way to look at it. If you really want to help the boardroom people, the executives, no, I'm not talking about a middle-level manager who has the data is sitting in front of him. That one, you should do this job. You look into your data, then look at. But if you want to go and sit down with the executive of FMT, you should understand what the executive decisions have been taken, and understand which of the decisions that have been taken has less data in it, or is based on intuition, or is based on the wrong data. Before you get to open your mouth. I happen to have been in an executive meeting for the health sector of Ghana, and I have to make the same argument that sometimes that's the same issue that we have. We think everything is just jumping to the data, but we are not looking at what all the decisions that we have, which of them has a very weak base or weak evidence before we start talking about what data we should go and pick up. So the approach is often yields interesting, but ultimately useless reports. And I've seen that happening before. A lot of dashboards are brought up, and the MD will say that, and so what? Yes, that's about the executive of Unilever will tell you, and so what? What should we do? Is this data, this graph you are showing me plenty? Is it a graph that I can't tell a company in South Africa to show me? They can do it for me. The same thing can be done by somebody in India. They can do that. Anybody can generate. In fact, now it's very interesting that some of the things are just models. You throw the data at it to just tell you what is there. ChatGPT can even do it for you. Gemini even do it and prepare a report for you. There's so much technology that can do that for you. So if you don't understand what you are looking for, the technologies will direct you and you'll be in trouble. The decision first approach mandates that you start by identifying a critical high-value business decision that is currently being made with incomplete information or just intuition. Then you work backward to define the necessary data and models and systems required to improve that specific decision. The problem we have been having is that, and we have been discussing it in our department. We teach you so many models, we teach you so many tools, we teach you regression, we teach you all these things. The problem we have done is that we are giving you tools, but it doesn't tell you which decision should you go with. So many of the students, when they are doing their long essay, they are sitting behind it and then I'll use this and I'll use that and I'll use that. The rest, they don't even know which, for this decision, I rather need regression. For this decision, I rather need this variance analysis. For this decision, I need this one. That being able to do the measure and being able to do the matching is very, very important. Otherwise, you'll be a person with too much technology, but no strategic advice technology and wisdom. You understand all the tools. And if you don't take care, you stay at the 2 level, you'll never be invited to the boardroom to talk. When we have decided, we'll invite you to go and run the analysis for us and tell us what you are finding. Then we'll make the decision. The goal is to maximize the speed and confidence of the decision, ensuring that the analytics work we have done is relevant, and is relevant immediately. Sorry about my passion for teaching this, because I've been angry about even the way we teach for some time now, and I've been pushing my fellow faculty that please, when we teach them the tool, we should tell them in what circumstance can we apply it. And please demand that from the lecturer. Don't let the team person come and teach you today, comes in the class and shows you that this is visualization technique and finish and go. Tell them that in what circumstances can I apply this? And now what conditions should I apply? Ask the lecturer. If the lecturer is not able to understand, then you put it down and he couldn't understand. So you have to go and find it out yourself. Because if you don't take it, they'll teach you a bunch of so many tools and you just be full of tools, techniques and stuff, and you don't know where you are going. And you finish the program and you are just you have graduated to technical techniques, but you don't know how to. It's like having a lot of techniques in your toolbox. You know that toolbox that you go to the mechanic, they open your toolbox. The techniques are there plenty, and the question is that do you use a star or you use a star or you use what's the name a flat, if you have heard about it, and somebody be using a flat for a star work. That's the problem we are having. For Ghana Fresh, the high value decision is how much of each packaged product, dried mango or pineapple juice, to produce each month. That is more important to improving the decision of eliminating waste, that's excess inventory or loss of sales in stock out. If you think that Ghana Fresh should just get up and go to Dubai, it's good. But the question is that how much of each packaged product should he produce in a month? Otherwise, if you're not able to estimate how much you're supposed to produce in a month, all your Dubai nice story tell me is nothing. Because you think you should go to Dubai, we are going to sell in the European market, we are going to sell here. But how much do I want to be able to produce in a month? Even for pineapple juice that is going to be exported, the dried mango that may be used will be sold as dried fruits in Ghana. Do I even know the demand in Ghana? Do I be able to trace it down? I was telling students in another class that consider Ghana Fresh having 2 scenarios. One, your high premium pineapple is coming from a farm in Koforidua. And then your grade B products are coming from another farm in Somaya. But if you pass the Somaya route to go to Afenya and stuff to Accra, the harbor, it is shorter to take your produce from Somaya to the harbor. But the product that you want to take to the harbor is actually the pineapple juice that you need to come from Koforidua. Then I asked the student that how many routes are there in Accra to leave Koforidua and go to harbor, which is them is the most efficient in terms of fuel. And I was asking, and you asked the proper answer. I said, like, you thought that getting the produce to US is just to Europe is just about just producing it. If you don't know your cost per mile for moving the product from Koforidua and the best optimized route to use, you are wasting time. You are wasting time because you are doing cold chain, and you have to know that the thing is also you are paying per every kilometer. If you leave Koforidua, because if you take the one from Somia, it's shorter route, but the product from Somia should be sold on Ghana market. It don't should be exported. The one to be exported is coming from Koforidua. How many routes are there from Koforidua to this thing, to Temahabo? Because even this week, some of our friends, faculty, were going for a funeral, and they were going through the Ebri road to Techiman. They stayed between Accra through Medina, going towards climbing towards the Ebri. Humans are climbing up and going towards Ebri. They stayed there for 3 hours. God, there was a drive festival. There was no technology to tell them that. They told us the prof, we thought that a car had broken down. For us to stay in Accra for 3 hours, we have not even moved and entered the passed through Ebri. We stayed there for 3 hours, and because of the way is one way going, we couldn't tell. We stayed there for 3 hours, waiting for the drought, whatever it is, to be moved, crowd to be moved, for us to pass through and then go through to Techiman. By the time you go to Techiman, they spent 14 hours on the road. And you ask me, I said, then you are telling me that you are bringing a produce from Koforidua, and it goes to meet this same festival. There was no intelligence to tell you that today, if you are coming, pass here. That from Ghana Fresh product for that particular export could have died, could have been finished in that particular way. That's all. This is how technology is good, but technology may not, if we don't apply it very well, it may not help us in any way. So what we are trying to say is that start with the critical business decision that needs improvement. Work backward to identify what is the required data analytics. Avoid starting with data, the data which you have. At least this leads to irrelevant, interesting findings. Thank you very much. Now let me answer the questions from here. Please, I hope I'm not confusing anybody, and we are just having a discussion. So, Brenda's hand is up, and then Benjamin. I know some of them may be contributions, and some of them may be questions. I don't have all the answers, so maybe I'll turn the question back to you, the class. Brenda, yes, go ahead.
Your passion this evening. Okay, so I'll start with, my former CEO, Salamado, always used to say, and so what?
Yes.
He would always say, and so what? With everything you bring to him, he asks, what is the impact, execution in that? But I was a bit conflicted when you started your submission, because I think from where I'm coming from, we use a lot of data, because with the technology and everything around us and a lot of things happening through technology, a lot of people using high-end phones, it presents us with a lot of data. I'll say big data that we have, and we make quite a number of decisions based on this big data. And so it was interesting to listen to you on working it rather backwards. I'll give an example. So today in our call center, one of our topmost call reasons, which would be surprising, is transaction confirmation. A customer will just call and say, I sent Mr. Benjamin Gumashi 100 CDs. Can you confirm that he has received it? This contributes to 50% of our call reasons into the call center. Due to the rate of abandoned calls and the volume of calls that come in on a daily, from the insights of this data, we have thought to increase the numbers we have in the call center to be able to reduce our abandoned calls. And so listening to you, I was just thinking, which other way could we have approached this? We have thought of it that why does the customer need to call me when once a transaction is completed, you get an SMS? Why should the customer do this added layer of calling MTN to confirm? Mostly we have this coming from agents or merchants who are calling to say, person A asked me to send to person B. I have sent it, but
Okay, so that's the question you should have asked. And you are dealing with something which is cultural. And the fact that the trust is not in the technology, the trust is in the people. He needs to hear. You see, the trust is in the people. Our error is that we think that trust is in the technology. And if you don't have a socio-technical perspective of the way technology works, you always think that the trust in the is in the technology. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So he wants to hear that voice note or voice call. An AI that is talking is a different living story. That voice, so far as a voice tells him that a thing has gone, he's okay.
Yes.
That means that there should be something that the person who is looking for that confirmation prizes or consider as what is real and what is a reality to him. That reality has to be communicated to him. What do you think the person considers reality? He considers a voice speaking, a voice behind. He has not seen the face, but he considers a voice behind as the fact that gives the reality. So if we have developed an AI that was going to tell you that a thing has been sent, the person may even believe you don't know that it's an AI. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Good. That is one level of people, depending on the knowledge level. And because of the fact that many of our consumers too, in terms of level of digital literacy, is lower. I'm not saying functional literacy, I'm talking digital literacy is lower. Now, you also have a situation that for a while, it will surprise you that a faculty in the university can also ask you that, can also want this confirmation. Because of the fact that he knows that technology itself can fail. So such a person is a different, such a person, I would have loved that there would have been a unique code that is personal to the person, that when the text message comes to the person's phone, and so, and you put that code there, you know that that's my unique code between me and MTN. So far as I see that unique code in my text message, that means that I can confirm the thing that is sent. There's something that I can identify with that only I and MTN know. And if a transaction goes through, they will send that thing to me, and I know that it has been done. But nobody knows apart from me and MTN. Even MTN doesn't know this. Me and the encrypted data flow.
Yeah.
And that would have been a cheap way of doing it.
Interesting. All right.
Yes. It's the same way that we send you, somebody's logging into your machine, then they send you something to your phone, and you say that, is it you? Then you confirm it is you, then it comes. Is that kind of physical authentication? In the same way that now, what's the name? Microsoft is using for you to log into your Outlook, and so they say confirm it by a short code that will send to your phone. That second confirmation authentication, two-factor authentication, they do that. Send it to you, then you confirm physically something that is about you. We learned it. Okay, you're not part of. I will teach you when you do data confirmation. Something about you that is shared. So when you say something about you that is shared, then you know that you are confirmed that the thing has gone through. If that starts happening, people will start reducing the calls, because one of the things that something about them has been used to reply, and they believe it. So now he's using for something he's familiar with, and he's not found that familiarity until the voice comes in. That's why he's asking, doing that call. But if it can be technology driven, either by voice call or by a code that you may have, that it confirms that when you see that code, you see that the thing has been confirmed. You will stop worrying. But that is a secret.
That satisfies one aspect of it, because if the recipient also doesn't see the SMS, he says, I have not received it, even though it could have hit his account.
Okay, so the other, for this discussion, maybe we can do a brainstorming later. Somebody can ask them, why is there delay in getting the text messages that come to us?
That's also a technology failure.
The technology failure, and that means that your response time to is an issue, and that's so many things to do with. For example, the network, the coverage in that area is poor. The connections are not coming. So as soon as I was walking away, it came. What does it mean by? It's not about you walking away that it came. You go to a better network connection, and then the connection was good, and then the text message could come through. So where you are standing, maybe they could be poor. There's also, in terms of traffic that is taking that place, it's a dense environment. Calls are going through. Some of them are falling out. They are not being able to get to the person. So if the person leaves that kind of environment and move to another place, it gets better. So there are certain things which are geographically impossible for you to solve because of where the person is. I hope you understand me.
Yes, I do.
Yes. So we need to look at it in a layered way. That's why I was saying that don't rush to the data. Let's rush to the analyze the data. Okay. Thank you very much, Brenda. We can discuss this later. Maybe. Yeah, but I think this is how we should take it. Look at what type of decisions are we taking in the organization that is based on intuition, less data driven. Then try to do something about it. Okay.
Doc, would you say?
Go ahead, Brenda. Go ahead. Okay, you are gone off now. I've seen Benjamin. I've seen Stephen. I've seen Samuel. Benjamin, go ahead.
Okay. Doc, I was just asking.
Okay, Benjamin, hold on. Let me just get Brenda. Ask your final question.
Yes, I was just asking, would this apply to every situation in terms of working backwards? Or there are some times that you would need insights from the data to work?
Good. I wanted to say that earlier to you. That's a very good question. Some of the things that you don't need to do that is because you already know the decision you need to take. So some of you in your offices, you have already streamlined some decisions already. So whenever the thing happens, you know that you have to go look at the data, because that decision has been actually that question exists already. There are certain situations the question doesn't exist, but we are rather jumping into the data. So there are different scenarios. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
For most of the one that your boss will say that why profit testing doesn't work, is because you know the question to ask. You are asking the right question already, and once you're asking the right question already, you know the data to go for. But I'm also trying to say that sometimes you are not asking the right question, and that is why you are rushing to the wrong data. So ask yourself the question, even if I have it already, is it the right question or the only question that can be asked? That's another dimension. Is it the only question that can be asked? Is it the only question? If the only question that can be asked, then you can direct yourself to what you're going to go. We'll be doing a canvas today, and to help clarify some of these things. But let me take Benjamin Gomashi's question, then Stephen, and then Jennifer. But thank you, excellent set of questions. Yeah, Benjamin, go ahead. If it's a comment, it's a recommendation, whichever thing you want to share.
Before I come in with my own suggestion or question, I just want to make a comment on Brendan's submission. I was just wondering, when you were having the discussion, it seems, I don't know if maybe we are taking away target audience, because in as much as the SMS thing might have not confirmed, some of the target audience might be using the mobile money app, which I'm sure gives live updates. So I don't know if maybe we are taking that into consideration, and those who are calling in have the app and are still calling.
Both the USSD and the app still gives you SMS regardless.
Yes, but if I have the app and I can verify if I have if the money has gone through or not, I don't think I would still want to see the SMS here and there. I'm just thinking about that.
Actually, sometimes people will do that. Human behavior is not predictable like how you say, because you are a sophisticated user and you are a knowledgeable user. And we even have knowledgeable users who don't believe in technology. You see, the trust about technology is very something that is always changing. It's not static. Somebody can have a call today that grandmother, we said something and the grandma's money was taken away. Because of that statement he has said, he stopped with this. Now he wants to double check everything. Fear has set in. And fear can mess up people in their way they think and the way they use technology. Fear, just feel fear, information that just can come in. So you are right, Benjamin, but sometimes even the knowledgeable user can become the most fearful user. Okay, so Benjamin, you have another point, yes.
Good. Thank you very much. So I was here thinking, if with first decision, your point on first decision, if a brand has high equity, then I'm sure the first decision could work. But if you're looking at a brand with low equity, first decision would rather harm them because you have low equity. Your target audience don't have good feelings and judgment about you. So making first decision could be hasty.
No, do you understand first decision?
It's making a decision before you use the data.
No, it didn't say that. Asking the right question before you go into data. That's what it means.
It's not a decision, just a question.
Yes.
Okay.
Look at this. Okay, let me look at it. Ghana Fresh has identified higher post-harvest losses using the first decision approach. What is the core decision on the farmer manager needs to help with? And what is not the decision? What is the right question you should ask is what you are talking about first decision. So when should each plot be harvested to minimize spoilage and maximize grade A yield? And the non-decision is that let's go ahead and just build a dashboard showing historical spoilage rates. This is what you would have done in a normal circumstance because you think that you have got high post-harvest losses. So you are going straight to build a dashboard. The dashboard is a report. The optimal harvest time is a recommendation. Harvest time recommendation is a decision support tool. Now, so what we are trying to tell you is that at the end of the day, don't rush to the dashboard. Ask yourself this question: when should each plot be harvested to minimize spoilage and maximize grade A yield? Then you can then detect what goes into the dashboard. Not just going straight to build a dashboard. If you see the way dashboards are built, you have to write the right question to ask. Otherwise, you just have data you are plugged into a particular type of algorithm, and it just gives you a graph. But what decision are you trying to take? What question have you asked the right question? So we are saying that don't jump into the dashboard creation first. Ask yourself what question you are looking for. What question are you asking before you go to a dashboard? And that's what we do even with your long essay. You need to have your question before you go straight to your dashboard. That's it. Benjamin, do you understand it now?
Please. But I was thinking, nonetheless, before you select your data for analyzing the data, shouldn't you have your objectives, and the
It is the
objectives should
question we
inform
are
the
asking.
questions?
Yes, that's what it is. We are asking. Whether you put a question mark on behind, or you call it an objective, or you're asking, putting a question mark, you make it a question. And in fact, I always tell students that a question is an objective that has been turned into, that we have put a question mark at the end. So to examine the plot, to examine or to determine the plot to be harvested, which plot should be harvested to minimize spoilage or maximize and maximize grade A yield. That's what it. Then you turn it to your question. When should the question is just is interrogating the objectives? What you get a question. That's what I wanted to say. When you interrogate an objective, you get a question. So whether you start with an objective or a question is the same thing. So your dashboard should start with an objective or question before you go to the dashboard. Do you understand? Does it support your premise of your argument?
Yes, please.
Thank you. But
Yes.
to tell you the truth, to surprise you that people will just jump into, oh, bring historical data, we'll look into it, we'll get something out of it. That's what they'll say. They'll not even, and then they'll start, then they'll be abreast, should we do this, should we do that, should we do that? There's a time for that. In fact, if there's a time for that, and I will say that I like that time for that, especially if you're not a boardroom person. There's a time for that. You can just be playing with the data and then you get a chance on this. There's nothing wrong about that. But you should, when you see, maybe I don't know your level in the organization. When you have your competitor and being in the market, releasing a product by 2 p.m., and you are facing situations that you need to have a response after the 2 p.m. announcement, it's not the time for you to just go and sit by data and be exploring. You need to ask the right question. You take the right decisions so that you can be fast to be able to have a response after the 2 p.m. announcement. Anyway, so if I'm satisfied, Benjamin, if I'm not satisfied, you can still ask your question. But
I'm just going to ask one last question. Can this lead to a confirmation bias?
Can this lead to what bias?
A confirmation bias, when maybe you ask the questions and then select data and you are expecting a possibility or a result from the data. Can it lead to a confirmation bias?
I don't understand what you're saying. If you are asking a question and you're able to use directly choose your data, is the right approach. If you didn't ask your question well, then that's the problem. I'm not taking it for granted that people are good in answering questions. The same way that I told you earlier that it's not everybody who can see. So if you are a manager, you know that you cannot see, you cannot be able to ask the right questions, then maybe you have to use 3 approaches. One approach is that you tell the team that go and sit by the data and see what you can find out. I'm going to sit with another team and see, I'm going to try to explore the right questions. And I'll go and ask the MD, what questions are in your mind? So if I don't get it, maybe MD will get it, then the other people can get it. Because I realize that it's not every team that knows how to ask the right questions. That one is true. And it's not, and if you don't know how to ask the right question, sometimes you're sitting by the data, you not see anything. Have you not been with maybe a subordinate and you give him the data, he's looking in front of it, he can't see what you see. He looks at the data, he didn't see the pattern you are seeing that our competitor will be announcing something tomorrow. He has looked at this. Some people are in some organization, when they open the newspapers today, they can tell them that they can tell how the week will end for their company. They look at the news that happened on Monday. They check everything that they see in the graphic. They say, okay, this week we are okay. We don't need to worry ourselves. Some people open the newspaper to this day and they will see something that knows that they know that next week we have to do something because they saw something. You didn't see, but they saw. So I told you earlier that ability to see is a different ball game. That's what I was trying to tell you. Use Manchester's one of Manchester's game Champions League to tell you. Somebody gets up, he stands up, he looks at it, he puts somebody in the team, and then they win the match in just about 5 minutes. And then what was the other coach doing? He didn't see that the guy is bringing a player. Ability to see comes from experience. It comes from so much of having good knowledge too, and also making mistakes and learning from it. So I'm not saying that today, if I finish teaching you and you graduate from the program, you can see. I'm trying to tell you that you need to move your mind to a place you can see and be relevant to boardroom discussion. That is what makes your pay grade go high. So I'm trying to push you to that, and to come from a lot of working on yourself. Sometimes I remember there's something that I have I work with somebody who is a marketer, and I always every evening that person will sit down just browsing. She has no account on TikTok. She'll browse TikTok to one end and stop. Then we'll take Instagram browser to one end. They'll take it. I say, what are you looking for? I'm looking for what will change tomorrow morning. I said, what do you mean by that? A lot of the trends in what I do, if I see it tonight, I know what to go and say tomorrow at office. I said, wow. He said, yes. He said, I'm not looking, I'm just, and I said, but you're listening to delay. I said, you don't know. I listen to you, I check delay, I'll check what this person is saying, I'll check what this newspaper is saying, and everything, and see where the conversations are going. Tomorrow morning, I know what we should do in the office. I said, wow. And I said, but you don't have an account. I said, yeah, I don't need to have an account. I'm just browsing trends and be able to make decisions. But somebody is just looking, hey, I saw this, let me like it. Let me send it to Kwame now. Let me send it to Adjoa. He didn't even see anything. The next day, he go to sit in the office. He didn't take any decision. Anyway, let me not worry too much. Yes, time is going low. Let's continue. This class here, you are really engaging. Very interesting. Stephen, very Watson, please go ahead.
Okay, Prof. Thank you very much. From my question is kind of in line with what Brenda asked earlier, but I was also looking at it from the point you were saying that the decision first approach has got more to do with asking questions, and definitely the questions that you ask would lead you to taking or implementing certain decisions. So from what I was thinking, or I thought of earlier, like wasn't the decision first approach be more, let's say, geared towards maybe institutions or industries that are already existing, and they've maybe had the luxury to maybe make certain decisions first before later on trying to use data to back maybe some inefficiencies to maybe tweak it to improve let's say productivity or output. But how about maybe if the company is now emerging, maybe I now want to enter into a particular market, and I don't have the luxury to maybe definitely I'll ask questions that, okay, if I take this decision, what is going to be the output, or what is going to be the outcome? So probably I might just use my intuition and say, okay, it might end up being beneficial or being profitable. But in the case where I might not.
Steven, you're asking me the question, you solve yourself in a question. I think you didn't understand what decision first approach. Ask yourself, listen to this. Ask yourself, which business decision are you currently making that is based on incomplete information and intuition, and do something about it. So if you are a new company and your decisions are being based on incomplete information and intuition, you need to do something about it. Don't rely on incomplete information and intuition. That's what it's telling you. So if you are going to a new company and you don't have enough data to make the decision about which of the market you should go and get the data and then analyze that data, that is what it's telling you. You are currently making a decision that is based on incomplete information and intuition. Avoid that. That is what the decision first approach is saying. That don't make decisions based on incomplete information and intuition. For Brenda's company, some of the things that they have been doing, that is established that they have done things over some time that they know that for this decision, this is the information you need that will help you to get the right decision. So they don't think twice about it. That one, they can easily go to marketing or whatever and get it. But they currently also know that some decisions are there. We have incomplete information and we are using intuition. For example, he gave us an example that this thing that has been happening for some time. Do you think the issue she mentioned about the call being 50% of the call, it happened today? It has been there for years. Why is it all the methods they have been using to address it not working? It could be the fact that they have always been jumping to use certain some kind of approaches. And I'm asking that, are you asking the right question about it? Or the questions you ask, have you asked other questions about it? So there may be other questions about it that you have not asked, and that is why the occurrence is still going there and on. Or there are some things that you may not be able to do anything much about because of certain other decisions that lead to this one. For example, the delay in getting the text message, is it the customer's fault? No, it's the network. It's still a network issue. The issue to do with the same firm. So if they can solve that one, that as soon as you send money to somebody, the person will see immediately, like how email works. Then it means that there's not going to be a change. But you know something about email. If the university network, somebody sends something from Gmail, I know this, maybe some of you have tried this before. Somebody sends an email, say also copy my Gmail, it will come faster. Why? You know your university network or your office network, it will go through these protocols and stuff. By the time you get it, maybe 5 minutes have passed. But when it gets to hit your Gmail, you know that it has come. And that confirms that the thing has been sent. So you are using Gmail because Gmail has established a superior capacity of delivering emails faster than your platform. I'm not saying your platform is wrong in doing so, but your platform is going to maybe extra security checks. That's why it takes some time. But in terms of making your decision, you know that if it gets to Gmail first, you are okay. So why are you giving him that one? Because you want confirmation. And that confirmation is coming from Gmail faster than your own platform. So when the situation, the issue you're telling us, Brenda was saying, one of the problems was even with the, I won't say it's a problem, one of the is the current situation, how the network works and the delivery of SMS, and it gets delayed. And the delay can be internally due to MTN security measures, or can be also due to the person, the user's phone, or the user's proximity to the appropriate network, or adequate where he is, whether there's even adequate coverage of the network. So those ones are things that you cannot do much about. I hope you understand me. Those ones you cannot do much about. So those of you who have realized that the two-factor authentication, sometimes they use about 3 different means of getting the information to you. They'll send you a WhatsApp, an email to you, and they also send a text message to you, 2 of them. The those text messages can delay, but the email can come faster. So I believe there are some people here who have always often sometimes go to their email to retrieve the code, come and put it to whatever they are doing, rather than waiting for the text message, because the text message sometimes delays. And sometimes even after you have logged on and gone, that's when now the text message is coming. Now, Microsoft has started adding another layer. They can send to you on WhatsApp for logging into Outlook. So I can either get it on WhatsApp, get a text message directly to my phone, or I get it through another email account that I've attached to my Microsoft account. Or they can also call your phone. I don't know what I know about it. They can call your phone, and if the dial goes to them, they say, okay, now you're authenticated, then they open, Outlook will open to you. Why is Microsoft using all of these measures? Because of inefficiencies in the same technology. So you have to use multiple measures to reach the person. And some of the inefficiency is not Microsoft. It can be the person's device. So Microsoft is trying as much as possible that you cannot complain that they didn't use all the means to get the information to you. And that is what maybe Brenda and her company have to think about. Are we using all the means to get the confirmation to you? That is what they may have to consider. So if you don't ask the right question, you may be solving the problem, a good problem, in the wrong way, or in a partial way. Maybe that's what I should say. Please, do we now understand? Derek, question, your voice, your mic has been unmuted. Do you want to say anything? Okay, Derek doesn't want to say anything. So let's continue. Good. Please, those of you who are quiet, don't be quiet and just be saying that your class is between prof and 3 other people. So, okay, so let's see. Let me see text or WhatsApp messages, messages in our chat room. Okay, so let's see. I'm sure he's patching loud. Okay. Caleb, sorry, Charlie. Strategy is my thing. That's what I did for my PhD. So I'm much into strategy, and that is my natural gifting too in terms of what I do. Okay. Even now, passkeys are being used aside. Yes, it's true. And they are now emphasizing passkeys should be done. And passkey technology is also a little bit different. Yeah, maybe we'll look at that when we get to data governance next semester. Yes, that is true, Prof. When your two-factor number is WhatsApp registered, you also get an OTP through there. That's true. That's true. Okay, so I was just confirming that. Thank you. So Microsoft is doing that to me now, and I think it's even efficient for me. Yeah, because I can be able to get it on all sides. Yeah. And those of you who have been using crypto platform, do you realize that they are also now using facial recognition, and you can do the facial recognition on your phone or through the computer that you are using. They are using facial recognition. So now the layers are a lot. Okay. So I Winnie says that I agree perfectly that you need to have the objective before you use the data. Yes, and that's the same. Ask the right question. as the right question. Thank you very much. I'm very happy that we have understood that we are on this, we are all on the same space. Okay. Now let's go to the latter part of what we wanted to do today. Caleb, come. Let's hear from Caleb. After that, we go to the strategy camera, which is what we wanted to try and do today. Okay.
All right, hello, Doc.
Yeah.
Prof, sorry. So, I think I agree with you with regards to what you said regarding what's the name? Oh, making the right decision, asking the right questions before making use of your data. In my organization, I've experienced having not have the IT department in the forefront, or having the IT department as part of the decision making when they are making a strategic decision for this particular year. So in the consequences we are facing because of that is that now we are having to pay extra for certain things we are supposed to pay lesser for, because the decisions they made previous year without including IT were so wrong. Because they knew they were not having the right knowledge in that particular field, so they made the wrong decision, so to say. So now we are reaping the consequences by paying more instead of paying less. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you very much. All right. Right. If we want to make the wrong decision, we pay more. We pay more. Yes. Caleb, thank you very much for that comment. You can lower your hand now. I've seen that. Okay. So the next thing that we are looking is that we now know the critical decisions have to be made with our vision. So now this is what I was trying to teach you with decision first. What is your decision first about your vision? What are the right questions you should ask about your vision? If you know the 3 or 2, 5 key questions you ask about your vision, then you can develop what you call the quantifiable expectations for that particular decision. Please understand it. What am I? The value hypothesis, what you call the quantifiable expectation. What quantifiable expected value are you do you have for that particular decision? So improving logistics will reduce fuel cost by 20%, something like that, putting a percentage to it. If you know how to do this very well, then you are trying to build what you call your strategy, analytic strategy canvas. What links your vision to decisions and to something that is measurable? Okay. So the value hypothesis is more about your so what. It translates your technical effort to an expected business impact, or which may go into your return on investment, which is necessary to be able to get executive buy-in. Remember, I told you I wanted to get you a seat at the executive level. So how do you connect your vision to something that's a quantifiable hypothesis that you are going to be able to use to achieve, or you are going to run your strategy by it? That's what I'm trying to explain to you. You don't worry too much about my plain English. So let me use an example to do that. So, for example, we have said that in the beginning, this is our objective. And I'm talking to analytics people, please. I'm not talking to a manager. I'm talking about executives who understand analytics. So please allow me to use analytics terminology. There are some executives that don't understand analytics. I won't present a vision like this to them. So for an executive that understands analytics, this is what I'm telling you. To become the most data-driven agribusiness in Eastern region of Ghana, shifting from historical reporting to predictive decision-making in operations and sales. This is what I've said. Because of that, and you know my problem. My problem has to do with harvesting. My problem has to do with logistics. My problem is has to look at on-tap markets in Ghana, which has to do with the dried fruit and the local fruit juice. So these are my challenges, my problem that I have. Now, out of my problem, I have 3 critical decisions that I'm taking. 1, I want to optimize harvest timing. Number 2, I want to be able to have a production mix, in terms of have a mix of products that I want to put out there and use that one as my product, my product offering. Number 3, I want to work on my logistics. So the first one is that I'm asking the right question, first decision approach. When should specific plots be harvested to maximize grade A yield? Grade A is what I export to Europe. So instead of me just getting up to achieve my vision, I'm asking that optimal harvest timing is my problem. So my post-harvest losses is one of my problems. So I want to ask myself that when should specific plots, the plots I have, specific on them, because I have different farms. I have a farm I mentioned, I have a farm in Dodoya, Somaya, and I'm a farming Kofodia. So concern the Kofodia who gives me grade A yield. When should specific plots be harvested to maximize grade A yield? This will address directly in terms of why I'm asking that particular question. I'm asking that particular question because I want to address my post-harvest challenge by reducing it to about 20 by 20 or to 30%. Right now, the next one, production mix planning. How much packaged products, whether it's juices for abroad or sorry, for the local market, and then dried fruit, because the local market have got opportunity to compete either with dried fruit or the local fruit juice that I want to be able to do, so I can compete with the sobolos and things that are on the market. How much packaged product in terms of juices and then dried fruit? Remember, I'm not entering that market. I'm not there already. Look, I've not been doing things locally. I've been doing things for Europe. Europe was my focus, but I see that there's an opportunity in the local market for dried fruits and then for fruit juice. I can compete with them. So, how much of that packaged product should be produced for the local market each month? That's the right question I'm asking. I consider this will address the inconsistency in profit due to inventory waste, stockhouse or excess inventory. Okay. And then lastly, logistics route. Which combinations of truck routes and drivers minimizes variable costs such as fuel while maintaining on-time delivery? This addresses the unpredictable and high logistics costs that I have currently. Because of those things, I then establish certain hypotheses that I want to achieve. One, implementing predictive harvest timing will reduce post-harvest losses by 15% within the first year, adding to the bottom line. This is a measurable financial target. Number two, improving production planning will reduce packaged products inventory waste by 20% and increase local sales by aligning supply with consumer demand signals. Now, please, this one is coming from discussions with maybe my internal team on what kind of measures do we want to establish as our goals. That's it. Number three, route optimization modeling will reduce fuel consumption by 8% per kilometer for the longest transportation routes. This focuses on a high cost variable fuel that the company can control with better data. So who are the ones who are going to work on this? Equia Mensa, that's the CEO, the farm operations manager, the logistics manager, the local sales team are the ones that the data scientist is going to engage with. So I'm taking you as the data science, you are the consultant. What data do we need? For the one to do with post-harvest loss, we need some logistic data like weather data, and then logistic data in terms of where my farm is, the issues concerning the plots, and then the soil moisture and sensor data, and the historical sales records, harmonized and cleaned, which you are being taught about already, about how to data wrangling. They will teach you how to clean up data. And then basic data engineering skills, which you are also gaining from some of the other ones. Identify raw inputs required to enable high value decisions above. So this is how we are going to go about it. Now, so what I did is that I asked the students, okay, thank you very much. Okay, and then if we can't finish, we'll just wrap it up by 9 o'clock. So, Paul, can you confirm the time will close? Okay. Some of our colleagues want to confirm since we close quite a late. I wanted to close earlier, but students started asking me questions. So please, if it's 9 o'clock and you have to start driving, you can start driving and go. Don't worry too much. Or if you need to start driving now, so I start driving. So that those who really want to engage, I don't rush them and cut them off. But whatever it is, we are still recording, so you can always tune in. Please, I beg you. So those of you who have to start leaving the office or something like that, or you have to bounce and then talk to your daughter or something, you can bounce. I'll record the session, you can still have it. I'm recording the session, you can still have it. This is respectfully to those of them. So Abigail, thank you very much for that nudge. Okay. So what happens is that last week and this week, I asked students to come up with their own objectives, visions. Just the vision. Don't give me anything. your own vision for Ghana Ghana Fresh, and then I will show you how we can use it to inform this. So I'm going to do that for the other. I showed you for the other class, but before I do that, I just want just in 1 minute, so you can either state your vision and I type it, or you can actually come up with your vision. So let me just show. Let me just drop the one of the canvas I'm using in the chat to me. I'll put it. It's already in the Dropbox, but I'll put it here for you. There's a question. Brenda's hand is up. Brenda, please go ahead with your question.
Quick one.
Yes, don't worry. You can.
Okay. So
for the
all these decisions I can see are translating, as in if we should go by them, translates into some level of maybe reduction in post-harvest losses.
Yes.
All of that. I don't know whether at a later time we would be taking through how you determine, for instance, in terms of logistics or choosing, the best routes, it would lead to an 8% reduction in maybe logistics cost. This decision leads to a 15% reduction in this. How, if there is any calculation, because I get this a lot, and sometimes how to determine that return on investments is somewhat difficult.
Okay, so this is what I wish this course was being taught alongside another course, so they were all using the same material. So what I'm teaching you is now asking the right questions so that you can go to the analytics and do the right procedures. So if you look at it very carefully, the question that is asking here is that, okay, even this one didn't do that. I'll show it in an example. Let me use one from one of the students, and after that, I'll ask you to. I've given you. I've shared the document right now, so let me stop. For example, let me just go through what I did with the students yesterday, and then you can give me one of you can give an objective, and I'll show you how to do it, how I did it. Okay, so I'm opening this. I'm going to show you. This week I've done a number of ones that were recommended by a number of students. So what we had is I asked the students that you have been reading this case for some time now, come up with your own objective. So this is what Erica gave me. So usually a lady will give one and a gentleman will give one. So Erica, in one of the classes yesterday, Erica gave me this, and then John gave me that. Another class, Portia gave me, and then another gentleman gave me. Then we use it to do that. So this is what Erica said: to produce world-class pineapple juice that meets global sustainability and quality standards, enabling exports to market. This is Erica's take. And then John take was to become the preferred organic fresh food juice brand globally by employing organic agricultural methods in food cultivation and packaging. I didn't influence any of this. So they gave me this one. So when they gave it to me, then I in the initial class, I had trained my ChatGPT to be able to do analysis on Ghana Fresh by copying the preamble that we gave us. The preamble I gave you, the historical issue about Ghana Fresh to into what's the name? I call it the Ghana Fresh analysis. I put it into ChatGPT and it came to understand it. So what I then did yesterday was that I took it and I put it in here. And I told Ghana Fresh that, okay, I told ChatGPT that, let me just zoom in a little bit so those who are using their phones can see well. Just give me a second. Zoom. Control option. Oh, why is it I'm struggling to? Okay, let me use view. Zoom in. Good. Because when I zoom in enough, tell me. Zoom in. Is it better now? Is it better now?
Yes, sir. It's okay.
Good. So it's okay. So I gave it a prompt. Develop 3 critical decisions for each of the visions provided below. For each of the critical visions, develop a quantifiable value hypothesis to guide the firm in achieving the decision. Also identify the analytical techniques needed and data sources needed. So Erica's take was here, and then John's take was here. So it came up with, okay, below is a structured table for integrating critical decisions, quantifiable value hypothesis, analytical techniques, and required data sources. So first of all, he said that vision to produce world-class pineapple juice that meets global sustainability and quality standards. Remember, the only problem that I've given to ChatGPT is the fact that I have 3 issues. One has to do with my harvesting, one has to do with my logistics, and one has to do with the local market. The same question I'll give you guys in your capstone project. Those 3 challenges of the company. That's what I give it. Then it says that, okay, so this is what ChatGPT said, that to achieve what the vision that was the name this Erica. So Erica stated, first of all, it gave 3 critical decisions. 1, implement sustainable production and traceability systems. Number 2, optimize quality and control and through predictive quality and analytics. And number 3, sustainable energy and water use optimization. Now, this is a high level one. It's usually I could have turned it into a question format, but I didn't want you to do that because in the other class we did that because it takes time to go through the different levels. Okay. Now, the critical decision you want to do is this one. So, number, what is your quantifiable hypothesis? If Ghana Fresh implements a full farm to bottle traceability sustainability reporting, it will achieve 100% certification compliance. And he mentioned some of the compliances that are the global ones within 18 months, reducing export rejections by 1% and unlocking 10 to 15% price premium in EU and North American markets. Remember, in the view of Erica, she wants to go to any market. She's not taking Ghana. Erica is not taking what's the name? Ghana Fresh to only Europe. She is taking every market. So the standards are different. For that, and that brings to Brenda's view. What does Erica need to do? Erica needs analytical techniques such as sustainability analytics, traceability modeling, and then things to do with your ECG performance and dashboard. That's to do with sustainability dashboard. Okay. Then the data source, the data you may need is farm production logs, supply at the high level, supply certifications, environmental sensors, that's for water and fertilizer use, and audit and compliance records. The same thing, optimize quality control through predictive quality analytics. If predictive analytics is applied to production quality data, Ghana Fresh can reduce batch rework by 30%, cut microbial spoilage by 20%, and maintain breaks level consistency above 12 degrees Celsius for all pineapple juice exports. So what do you need to do that? You need predictive quality modeling, statistical process control, machine learning for anomaly detection. What do you need to do? You need to do lab test results, sensor data from processing logs, think so, and then temperature and pH logs and quality audit reports. Now let's take John's take. I'm just jumping because of time. Optimize organic farm yields and input use. If Ghana Fresh applies data-driven organic farming and analytics, yield per hectare may increase by 20%, while maintaining organic integrity, leading to 50% lower production costs per liter and consistent supply for estimate demand. What do you need? Precision agriculture analytics, crop yield forecasting models, and soil weather analytics. What do you need? So data do you need? The related data is given here. Now, this is very interesting. It goes on to say that if brand analytics and customer sentiment are monitored across regions, Ghana Fresh can increase brand recognition by 40%, grow international repeat purchase by 25%, and gives you the similar thing. Then it also talks about if they can switch their packaging to a biodegradable one. So what he's trying to point out is that Erica's take is about compliance, efficiency, and premium pricing, while John's take is about organic integrity, brand differentiation, and innovation. So what we are trying to teach you is that when you have a vision, understand the critical decisions that you need to take concerning achievement of the vision vis-a-vis the current problems or challenges or opportunities for the organization. That is why your pedestal is important. What Mr. Fair was taking us through is important because that will help you to link your vision to your business analysis in terms of your environmental analysis and your industrial analysis. And you can be able to come up with the right decisions. I'm not saying the computer can do everything. Some of them you have to sit down with your team and think. Then you develop your quantifiable hypothesis, identify the analytical techniques to do those, to achieve to test those hypotheses. You are doing the analytical, using analytical technique to test the hypothesis. And then you need to know the data sources that is needed. What you are trying to avoid is that you jump into the data and you are just analyzing the data. You have to know what you're looking for. But there are times that the data itself can even suggest more. That is why some of the data analytics tools are telling you are more open. For example, there's one which you mentioned here. Let me see what you said. It's anomaly detection. Good. Machine learning for anomaly. So that's why you can explore your data a lot to be able to just determine what could be causing the problem. So you can do a lot of explorative analytics in this approach. So some of the analytical models that you'll be taught, you apply, can help you expand. So Brenda, the issue is that maybe your team have been able to do the first two. The problem is that linking it with the analytical techniques that you need, and then data sources that you need, and then telling your team, commissioning them, your analytics or data science guy to go and do that particular analysis and come and tell you what the answers to the value hypothesis you have defined. So if you don't get them right, you'll be in trouble. I'm not saying these are the all quantifiable hypotheses you can do. Let me just show another one, another class. Okay, this was Samuel and Portia. Okay, so initially when we did it, this is what they said. So Samuel gave to become fresh juice, primary fresh juice vendor by employing descriptive analytics to decrease my cost, and then predictive analysis to increase appeal to European market. How are you going to do the one? One, I told him that, okay, you need a decision. Cost intelligence strategy. Identify and track the key cost drivers across sourcing, processing, and distribution through descriptive analytics. Why? It enables someone to pinpoint where waste, delays, or inefficiencies occur and take data-backed decisions to reduce them. What does he need? He needs a cost dashboard, a KPI tree, that's yield per hectare, energy per liter produced, and variance analysis. When you do the same for the GH decision you have taken, you can then come and tell Prof, for the GH project you are giving us, I need certain data to be able to generate my cost dashboard, my KPI trees, and those kind of stuff. These are the data that this one you didn't add the data, but I can ask it to tell you the data you need. When you tell me the data I need, then I can come and collect the data from the company and give it to you. So somehow, some of the people, they don't know the right data to go and pick. And that's the problem. And if you don't get the right data, you can't do the right analysis that can generate the right decisions, guide you to get the right answers for certain decisions that you want to take or certain hypotheses you are testing. Here, you don't see any hypothesis being given because we did it another I use another prompt. So this is a prompt for the decisions that you are taking. For example, and this one, I wanted to show you something I liked so much. So if someone wanted to become the primary fresh fruit juice vendor by employing descriptive analytics to reduce cost and predictive analysis to increase appeal. When you talk about appeal, then I'm talking about customer insights too. So market differentiation through customer insight, predictive analytics for appeal. If predictive analytics identify three top flavor trends and packaging formats preferred in the European market, aligning the product development with these insights would increase our export orders by 25% and then the average unit price by 10% within 18 months. Now, somebody's asking, Prof, how do I get a percentage? Technically, this is just suggestive. And some of them, the companies may sit down, your team can see that we want to be more measurable and more moderate. So let's start, if we go by 5%, maybe it can help us be able to increase our turnover by this percentage. So sometimes maybe discuss in terms of relation to turnover. So for example, if you increase, even without this hypothesis, if you increase your export orders by 25%, how will it affect your turnover? Maybe in the beginning of the year, you establish a target for and you do target. Many of you do target. You establish a target for GH. This time last year we sold 8 tons of 8 tons of, or maybe 20,000 bottles of fresh juice in Europe, and our dominant countries was Germany and Belgium. This year we want to sell the same 20,000 in these two countries, and these two having the dominant being this, but we want to have a new 5,000, but that 5,000 should go to the Polish and Ukrainian place. So you set this one up It means that when you set that goal up, you have to come back and ask yourself that, does it mean that you have to increase what are you increasing your orders by? You are saying 5,000 extra. So that means that you are increasing your orders by maybe 5,000 by 25%. That's actually 25% of your 20,000 that you sold. So yes, maybe 5,000 and 20,000. So you want to sell increase by 5,000, but this new increase by 5,000, you want to go to Ukraine and then Poland. So you have to, that means that your flavors for Ukraine and Poland have to be determined. Please, you do understand what I'm trying to say? So this is boardroom discussion, but with an analytics person who understands analytics and understands where the company is going. So the executives are telling you that we want to increase by this and want to enter Ukraine and Poland. What then hypothesis will you come up with? It means that your predictive analytics should be able to help us identify 3 flavor trends and packaging format preferred for Poland and Ukraine. And then align this insight so that you can increase your export orders, and that increase should come from Poland and Ukraine by 25%. Please, this is what we are trying to do. Time is up. It's just 1 minute more. Time is up. So what I would have asked is that maybe somebody should recommend. Can we just get just one objective, just to demonstrate from this class? You are the one on the classes that I think I have to get one from you. So maybe somebody should recommend. Genevieve, if you have the Genevieve stick. So Genevieve, tell us, what do you want to do for with the company? To what? What do you want to achieve? Then we will run with your own and see. What do you want to do? To what? Genevieve. Go ahead. Or you are running away.
There is a question I wanted to ask, but not answer this.
Oh, okay. Oh, please. Okay, you ask your question. But can somebody give me one or prepare one and just mention? So can you just a minute or two to generate and see how it looks like? I just want you to have a feel of it in this class. Genevieve, ask your question.
Okay, sir, please can we kindly go to the chat and let me see if the question is related to one of the
points.
Yes, please.
So who's on? Was it Samuel or the previous one?
I think the last one we looked at.
That was Samuel's one. Okay, Samuel's one.
Yes, please.
Samuel
okay.
Just like his vision was this. Yeah.
Okay, so the critical decision is the value hypothesis. It says if predictive analytics identifies top 3 flavor trends and packaging formats preferred in European markets. So my question is, this is going to be the data analytics work, analyst work. So I wanted to find out, does it mean that you have to go and find data on the top 3 trends in the European market? Because Ghana Fresh will not be able to have this information for you.
Hey.
Or they will.
Don't say that too. First of all, let me point something to you. Whenever you are doing this type of, I did something with Casablanca and learned that you need to buy the data. You need to commission companies to try and do some of the market analysis for you.
Oh, okay.
And then, please, I don't know whether you know this website, Statistica. This website, they help people buy data for market trends. So Statistica, look up. Okay, so I can ask Statistica that, okay, top 3 brands of fresh juice in Europe. Okay. It couldn't be found. Okay, I don't know whether top 3 brands of fresh juice. Okay, fresh juice in Europe. Let's just do fresh juice in Europe. Good. Fresh juice market share in Europe. This is 2016. Please, I don't know whether I can see. Let me zoom in for the rest of you can see. Zoom in and zoom in again. Is it now? Good. You see, this is 2020. The dates are there, so you can get that. At least let's say that the 2024 one will be okay. So this is but this is not EU. This is European Union. The market share of fresh juice in 2007 to 2018 Then there's one for cold press juice brands in 2016 to 2021. So we can get that one. Let's use that one. Then there is also fresh juice consumption in United Kingdom. So and then which of them are you interested in?
I think the 2007 to 28. Okay, 2016 to 2021. That's more recent.
Okay, so look at this one. This is it. It's giving you the statistics, but you have to log in and pay. But at least you can see some of the cold press you use by the few, but they're hiding some of the data. So I have to pay for it. This is what they have collected it and they have the data already. So it can tell you, usually it will tell you which brand is selling and what you can do, but I have to buy.
Okay. Yes.
So yes. Even Ghana's own is there. So the companies invest. I think those who work in this industry know what I'm talking about. They'll tell you. And you can also search Google. If you search Google, it will pick other people's report who may bought this one and wrote something out of it. But this is the best place for you to go in case your company wants to buy. So you buy the data, or you commission somebody to get it for you. That's one. Number two, predictive analysis identify top 3 flavor and packaging preferred in Europe, aligning the product development along these insights or expert. So now you have to do something with your product development and stuff. But let me just see from someone so that I can work on the timing. Somehow, do you have a this thing for us? Do you have a vision for us? Somehow, do you have a vision for us?
Yes, please, Prof.
Okay. To what?
So I'd wanted to say to become the world's leading provider of natural, high-quality fresh juices at lower cost by employing.
You're going fast too. High quality.
Okay.
Of natural high quality fruit juice by employing.
But at a fraction of the cost.
Where should I write? Where have I made a mistake? To become the world's leading
provider of natural high quality fresh juices at a fraction of the cost.
The fraction of
what
the
cost?
Of what cost? Of what?
Okay, of production.
Of production cost.
Yes.
Are you talking about our industry cost or the standard?
Okay. I wanted to put in something that would say it's affordable.
Okay.
So we can look at it from the production side, which I was saying at the fraction of the production cost, maybe. Let's say at the fraction of the production cost.
By employing
a good production mix and technology to be efficient and
by employing an innovative production mix of see how the thing is different. But if you're in Brenda's team by now, they'll tell you are going off. Okay, let me just have a base of technology and customer care, maybe something like that. Customer care.
Okay.
I'm just using. I'm not saying it's the perfect one, but I think. Okay. I mean. Okay, let's use this one. But I like the way we're having a very varied one from what I did yesterday. This is more a socialist MD. He has a hat. So let's take the socialist MD and take his own. So let me stop sharing. Now let's go to ChatGPT quickly. Remember, I said I've already taught my GPT about the company already. So what I'm just going to do is that I'm going to put it in here. And sorry, and I'll just write that That is Samuel's stick. If I'm right, Samuel's stick. It's another Samuel. Samuel, what's your saying? I want to use the first, the acronym, the initial for first. Is it A?
Yes, A.
Okay. Samuel A's stick. Okay. But I need to give it an instruction. So what do I want ChatGPT to do? Develop 3 critical decisions for each decision provided below, and give us a quantifiable value hypothesis to guide the firm in achieving the vision. Also identify the analytics and data sources needed, and then maybe we can add something. Okay, let's do that one. Okay, for each of the okay, and then okay, human resources. Okay, I just added one more variable. That's all. So let's see. Let's do where we can conclude. Good. Okay. Good. So it's going to give us the critical decisions aligned with your vision, quantifiable hypothesis, analytical techniques, data sources, and human resources. I could have also told you that the problem context for each of them. I could also tell you to even add the risk. It can do all the risk analysis for you and stuff for the regions, and you can use the. So the first one, optimize production efficiency through smart manufacturing. Remember what you said. You said you want to do what production, something with production. So if Ghana Fresh integrates IoT, that's Internet of Things, driven production analytics and automation, it will reduce unit product cost by 25%, downtime by 30%, and energy use by 20% within the first 18 months, whilst maintaining consistent product quality. To do that, Ghana Fresh needs predictive analytics for process monitoring, and then predictive maintenance modeling, and then overall equipment efficiency, effective analytics, and then real-time data dashboards. Then I need to also go to the other side. That's the problem with using ChatGPT on a platform like this. So I have to zoom in a little bit, zoom out a little bit. Okay. Okay, good. Please forgive me. Let me zoom out and get the whole thing to show. It's giving me. Then after that, I'll rather zoom in. What am I struggling to? 100%. Okay.
Can I ask a quick question whilst you're at it?
Yes, you can ask your question.
I find all the visions giving the would I say the mode of how the vision would be achieved. So most of them I see by doing A, B, C, D. I look at our vision and we don't have that. Ours is just to lead the delivery of a bold new digital world to our customers. And basically that is it. There is no why. Does that mean it falls short of something?
No. Remember that all visions have got 2 things inside. What you your aspiration, and then what you value to be the center of your what you are doing. So this one you are seeing here, the value, the aspiration is this one, the world leading provider. But what is going to drive them to achieving it is what they said at the mix of, they see technology motivated employees, and then customer care as the aspirational values in the vision. Not the core values of the company, the aspirational values in the vision.
Okay.
So if you look at it, build a motivated, data literate workforce. I hope you understand me. You see that one here. And then they have if Ghana Fresh implements, good. Now I can scroll. Good. I can scroll now. It's better now. Good. I have a better now. So if Ghana Fresh, I'm reading here. So those of you want to zoom in. If Ghana Fresh implements a continuous analytics based performance feedback and reward system, employee productivity will increase by 20%, staff turnover will decrease by 30%, and innovative submissions, employee ideas, will double by within a year. You see, and then HR analytics, employee engagement sentiment analysis, predictive attrition analytics, and correlation analytics. You see, look at the way we are talking about production of a fresh food. Look where we are because of what he says he wants to do, motivated employees. So it's core in his vision. So he has to have an activity in the terms of critical decisions that will help him achieve it. So someone making productive employees a primary focus means that there should be a reaction, there should be a part of his critical decision, something that is dealing with employees. And it tells you that what kind of resource teams you need to set up: HR data analysts, organizational psychologists, learning and development specialists, and people analytics team led by the HR manager. Then it comes on here that the enhanced customer-centric quality and market responsiveness. If customer analytics and feedback loops are integrated across all touch points, Ghana Fresh can increase customer satisfaction by 25%, boost repeat purchase rate by 35%, and then grow customer lifetime value by 20% in 24 months. What does he need? Voice of the customer analytics, predictive demand modeling, sentiment, service quality analytics, and then customer segmentation channel analytics. What does he need? A CRM and sales database, social media reviews and online feedback, call center logs, and customer satisfaction survey and loyalty program metrics. What does he need in terms of human resource? Customer experience analyst, data scientist for predictive models, marketing manager trained in analytics, and a customer service specialist trained in data capture and interpretation, which is very, very interesting. In fact, you are the first class that because of the questions you have been asking today, I wanted to add another arm called the human resource, and it has even changed the way we are seeing things. Now, please, all of these things you see here, you could have asked ChatGPT that for the customer segmentation and channel analysis, what data specifically do I need? Then to write only for that one for you. So you know that the data sources that you should pick up. What I've been trying to teach you today is that most of us would have just gone to the data company and just asked that, okay, we want to go here. So where's your customer data? That's all you ask you. But you don't know that you may need call center logs. You may need different ones. And then look at what you say, voice of the customer analytics. That is picking from, I think, call center, picking from social media, and putting all of them together. But if you don't take a JSP call center and then customer satisfaction survey data, that may be, or even a survey data, over what period are you taking? I didn't even know that we may need to pick loyalty program metrics. And I know for a company like MTN like this, I think you have something that every year you give, you go and surprise people with what's it, cake and stuff.
Cakes.
You know that in my family, only my brother has been receiving that cake. I have not received something before. I said, hey, this one there. And my brother was even living in the US. He still received. They brought it to the house. So what kind of customer service? But this year, I don't know whether he has received it or not. But every year they give him. Every year they give him. And maybe it's also because maybe there was a time that he was a very high volume customer, whatever it is. But what I'm trying to point out is that you give your loyalty. You have a loyalty program or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So look at it. Someone's vision is integrated into 3 layers. And someone, thank you very much. What you push us to do as what a new understanding. Cost leadership via technology and analytics efficiency. People empowerment, motivation, data culture, and customer intimacy, predictive service analytics. They have created a closed loop system. Data from production informs customer KPIs, drives customer satisfaction metrics, and feeds back into the process improvement. Excellent. You know, most of the other ones we have been doing, we left out the factory with the people who are going to do the work, and we left out the customer. We're just looking at the product. But for the first time, we have now captured the product, we have captured the people, and we have the people who produce the product, and then the customer. And that's why I say that this is a closed loop analytics system. From data to production, data from production informs customer KPIs, employee KPIs, which drives customer satisfaction metrics and feeds back into the process improvement. Very, very interesting. So now it's asking me that do I want to fit it into my book and that kind of stuff, because I've loaded all those data inside and stuff. But it's interesting. It's interesting. Please, this brings me to a very beautiful end. A very beautiful. And once again, thank you very much for your engagement. Today I've learned a lot of things myself. There's other things I should have covered, but I'll cover it next time when I meet you. And that one has to do with other methods I see how we look at performance in organizations. So I'll mention that later, just about 3 things. I'll mention that next week. So thank you very, very much. It's been excellent, engaging, and meaningful to me, myself, and then I believe that others have learned something out of it. Samuel, what do you say about what we have done? You are the one who led us here. So what do you think about this? Sammy?
Oh, I think it's very, very insightful.
Okay.
Very, very insightful. Yeah. Thank you so much.
But what do you think about this, your vision? Is it achievable within what has been given? The recommendation. Now you want the money to do it.
Yes.
Well, it's good. It's good. I think it's a fresh take to the objective. And I think, Brenda, you also identified it well, that it seems every vision has a buy in it. That tells you the aspiration that tend to send the visions are centered on. The aspiration usually says that technology and people-centeredness. So this one too said a mix of technology and you use the word innovative productive mix. That means that you have to know how to balance them well. Technology, motivated employees, and customer care. Very interesting. Thank you very much, and have a good weekend. I think from tomorrow, your weekend starts from tomorrow. So have a good one. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you so
very much.